Think a damaged coin is worthless. Think again. Some rare Morgan silver dollar pieces, even in bad condition, have sold for unbelievable prices. Could you be holding one worth millions? Let's find out. First up, the Morgan silver dollar minted in the year 1884 is one of the most iconic and historically significant coins ever produced in the United States, and even when found in very bad or heavily worn condition, it still carries a deep historical story, intrinsic silver value, and collector interest that makes it far more meaningful than an ordinary piece of currency, because this coin was designed by the skilled engraver George T. Morgan and struck under the authority of the United States Mint during a time when silver played a major role in the American economy, especially following the passage of the Bland-Allison Act, which required the U.S. government to purchase large quantities of silver and convert it into coinage, resulting in millions of Morgan dollars being minted across different facilities including Philadelphia, No Mint Mark, New Orleans O, San Francisco S, and the famous Carson City CC Mint, with Carson City coins being especially popular among collectors due to their direct connection with the silver mining boom in Nevada and the historical significance of the Carson City Mint. And when we talk about a coin being in bad condition, we usually mean it falls into grading categories such as poor P1 or good G4, where the coin has experienced extensive wear over many decades of circulation, causing most of the fine design details to become flat, faded, or nearly invisible, including the once sharp portrait of Lady Liberty on the obverse and the detailed eagle on the reverse, which may now appear smooth and lacking definition, often accompanied by scratches, dents, rim damage, discoloration, or even corrosion depending on environmental exposure and storage conditions over time. Yet despite this heavy wear, the coin still retains its composition of 90% silver and 10% copper, which means it always has a base or melt value linked to the current market price of silver. So even a heavily damaged 1884 Morgan dollar is not worthless and typically holds a minimum value based on its silver content, although it is important to understand that in such worn condition, the collectible premium is usually very limited unless the coin has a rare mint mark such as CC, or a special error variety, and many people are misled by exaggerated claims on the internet suggesting that all old coins are worth thousands of dollars, which is simply not true for common dates like 1884 in poor condition, because most circulated examples are relatively common and their value remains modest, though still meaningful for collectors and history enthusiasts, and the design of the coin itself is rich with symbolism, as the obverse features a left-facing image of Liberty wearing a Phrygian cap representing freedom and independence, along with agricultural elements like wheat and cotton symbolizing unity between different regions of the United States, while the reverse displays a powerful bald eagle with outstretched wings holding arrows and an olive branch, representing both strength and peace, along with inscriptions such as United States of America and $1. Though in bad condition, many of these design elements may be partially or heavily worn away, making it harder to read the inscriptions or identify fine details, which is why collectors often rely on professional grading services like PCGS and NGC to properly evaluate and authenticate coins, especially if there is any possibility that the coin could be rare or valuable beyond its silver content. And historically, the 1884 Morgan dollar is interesting because large quantities were stored in government vaults for many years and later released into circulation, which is why higher-grade examples are still relatively available today, but coins found in poor condition tell a different story, as they were actively used in everyday transactions during a time when the United States was expanding westward, railroads were being built, and silver coins were a key part of daily commerce, making each worn coin a small piece of living history that has passed through many hands over more than a century. And while the financial value of a badly worn 1884 Morgan silver dollar may not be extremely high compared to uncirculated specimens, its historical importance, silver composition, and connection to a transformative period in American history still give it lasting significance, and for collectors, even a low-grade example can be a valuable addition to a collection when appreciated for its story rather than just its condition. So in conclusion, a Morgan silver dollar from 1884 in bad condition is best understood as a historically rich silver coin with modest market value but strong educational and collectible appeal, and anyone who owns one should carefully examine its mint mark, weight, and authenticity while keeping realistic expectations about its worth, because true high-value coins usually require either excellent condition, rarity, or unique features, whereas common, heavily worn examples are primarily valued for their silver content and historical charm rather than extraordinary price. Next up, the Morgan silver dollar from the year 1882 is a classic and historically rich American coin that continues to attract collectors and history enthusiasts even when it is found in very bad or heavily worn condition, because this coin represents an important era in United States history when silver coinage played a major role in the national economy, and it was designed by the talented engraver George T. Morgan under the authority of the United States Mint during a time influenced strongly by the Bland-Allison Act, which required the government to purchase large quantities of silver and convert it into coins, leading to the production of millions of Morgan dollars including those minted in 1882 across several facilities such as Philadelphia, No Mint Mark, New Orleans O, San Francisco S, and the famous Carson City CC Mint, with the Carson City issues being especially popular and sometimes more valuable because they are closely connected to the silver mining boom in Nevada and the historical importance of the Carson City Mint. And when discussing a coin in bad condition, it usually means the coin falls into low grading categories like poor P1 or good G4, where the surface of the coin shows heavy wear from long-term circulation, causing the fine details of the design to become smooth, flattened, and difficult to recognize, including the portrait of Liberty on the obverse and the eagle on the reverse, which may appear faded or partially erased, often with visible scratches, rim damage, dents, or dark toning due to oxidation and environmental exposure over many decades. Yet despite this worn appearance, the coin still retains its intrinsic value because it is composed of 90% silver and 10% copper, meaning it always has a base value tied to the current silver market price. So even a heavily damaged 1882 Morgan silver dollar is typically worth at least its melt value, although the collectible premium is usually limited in such condition unless the coin has a rare mint mark like CC, or a special error variety. And it is very important to understand that while many online sources or videos may claim that all old coins are worth thousands or even millions of dollars, this is generally not true for common dates like 1882 in poor condition, as most of these coins were produced in large numbers and are still relatively available today, making their value modest unless they possess unique features, and the design of the coin itself is both artistic and symbolic, with the obverse showing a left-facing image of Lady Liberty wearing a Phrygian cap, representing freedom and independence, along with agricultural symbols like wheat and cotton that reflect unity between different regions of the United States, while the reverse features a strong bald eagle with wings spread wide, holding arrows and an olive branch to symbolize both military strength and peace, along with inscriptions such as United States of America and $1. Though in badly worn coins many of these details may be partially or almost completely worn away, making the coin less visually appealing but still historically meaningful, and collectors often rely on professional grading organizations like PCGS and NGC to authenticate and evaluate coins accurately, especially when determining whether a coin has any additional value beyond its silver content. And historically, the 1882 Morgan dollar is significant because it was produced during a time of economic growth and westward expansion in the United States, when silver mining was booming and coins like these were widely used in everyday commerce, meaning that a worn example today may have passed through countless hands over more than a century, adding to its historical charm and storytelling value. And while uncirculated or high-grade examples of the 1882 Morgan dollar can be quite valuable and desirable, a coin in bad condition is generally valued more for its silver content and historical significance rather than its rarity or visual quality, though it can still be an excellent entry point for new collectors who want to own a genuine piece of American history without spending a large amount of money. And in conclusion, the 1882 Morgan silver dollar in bad condition is not typically worth extremely high prices, but it remains a meaningful and collectible coin due to its silver composition, iconic design, and connection to an important period in U.S. history, and anyone who owns one should carefully examine its mint mark, weight, and authenticity while keeping realistic expectations about its value, because true high-value coins usually require either exceptional condition, rare mint marks, or unique minting errors, whereas common, heavily worn examples are primarily valued for their melt value and historical appeal rather than extraordinary market prices. Please like and subscribe to my channel.